All right, everybody. I'm hoping this is all working okay. I'm using Streamlabs for the first time. I usually use OBS. Streamlabs is OBS as well, but it's new software. So I'm setting it up. I don't know why we got the random Ronald Reagan thing showing up on the thing here. So let's hide that until I can get that event list thing figured out. So, you guys hear me okay? Everything's working all right. Looks like the mic is working, so I think we should be in good shape. Let me just make sure that the right mic is actually picking up. Yeah, it looks like it is. Awesome, and thank you so much, everybody. It was kind of cool because I had my phone laying next to me in bed, and I woke up this morning, I don't know, 7:30, 8 o'clock, and I grabbed my phone and I went to my YouTube app, the studio app, and I looked at it to see how close we were, because I knew when I went to bed last night we were like 30 away. And I woke up this morning and I refreshed it, and it was exactly at 400,000. So I screenshotted it real quick before it changed again. So thank you guys so much. I wanted to do this a little earlier than originally. Yesterday was going to be at 7 o'clock Sunday, but I realized that was going to be awfully late, especially for our European viewers. As it is, it's late in Europe, so I wanted to at least get a little bit of time in for our friends in Europe to be able to join us before it got too late. So thank you guys so much, and I actually just texted Mr. Terry to tell him that people are suggesting that we need to do some kind of a friendly wager. He hit 400,000 subscribers like 3 or 4 days ago, so we're almost identical right now. He's just a hair ahead of me. His channel's been around a little bit longer than mine. I caught up to him, actually passed him a couple of months ago, and then he just passed me back in the last couple of weeks. So I texted him that we need to make some kind of a friendly wager for when we get to 500,000. So if you guys have any ideas, let us know. So thank you in advance for all of this. And Tony, please don't start with all the who is stuff. You're going to end up getting hidden in the chat. The Mr. Terry versus VTH arms race. I like it. Mr. Terry's a great guy, and if you didn't already catch what I said about it, he's doing a charity stream tomorrow night, and I know he's going to have some really amazing guests. I don't want to spoil anything because I don't know what he's announced and what he hasn't, but I know who some of them are, and they're top notch. I mean, there's some big channels, way bigger than me and Mr. Terry, that are going to be appearing in that. So several people that I've become friends with, and I am going to be joining him and someone else, hopefully, if we can work it all out. And we're gonna be doing some live reactions, I think, tomorrow night. So excited about that. It'll be late for you guys in Europe because I think I'm not appearing till like 9:30, something like that. But John, thank you so much, man, and I am looking forward to seeing you in Italy. And Quattro, yes, I definitely plan to get to the Shenandoah Valley. I was actually planning to get there a couple of months ago, and things worked out in such a way that I wasn't able to. I had a trip planned to Lexington. His thumbnail shows me and Mr. Beat. Okay, so I won't be on at the same time as Mr. Beat. He's going to be on with him earlier, I think. There's somebody else that's way bigger than us. A couple people that are way bigger than us that are going to be on there. In fact, I think the two that I know of both have more subscribers than me and Mr. Terry combined. So definitely people you guys will be familiar with. So we're just going to do some Q&A, just have some fun, hang out for a couple hours. If you need to go, I understand. Come and go. We'll have some fun. I haven't streamed as much as I'd like to lately. I'd like to get back to doing more of that, especially now if I can figure out this whole Streamlabs thing and start getting a little more creative with stuff. And I am going to have Mr. Terry on sometime here in the next couple of weeks. And we'll do some more history memes together, only I'll host it this time. So it'll be fun. Will Woodrow Wilson make an appearance? He is dead and in his grave in Washington, D.C. Mr. Terry is actually still a teacher as far as I know. I don't believe that has changed. I know Mr. Beat was a teacher, but he is no longer teaching. He's doing YouTube full-time now. I do believe Mr. Terry may be going down to part-time maybe with with teaching. But okay, so anyway, I did something to my chat, so I'm trying to refresh it now and get it working again, because I've lost the chat and I suddenly can't see you guys in the chat anymore. So there we go. It's the app. I'm still getting used to using this thing. So Dan Shire, thank you so much. Appreciate that. Somebody said something about wearing a Michigan. If I lose, I have to wear a Michigan jersey. Well, here's the funny thing. So a friend of mine, he was actually on our tour in Germany and Austria that we did. He's from Michigan. And he and I, in the Telegram app, made a little friendly wager. And I lost, obviously, because Michigan won the game. So I actually have to record myself singing their fight song, which I haven't done yet. I need to do that. I don't think it's going to be public, though. I'll just share it in our group chat for the people who were on the tour. Tyler, thank you. And you have an interesting question. The Civil War had the same generals, but on different sides. Would anything change with the outcome? Yeah, I think the North would have won sooner. I think if you put any of the top Confederate generals in charge of the Army of the Potomac in 1862, the war's over. I think it'll end a lot sooner that way, yeah. Any upcoming Civil War battlefield trips planned, Nathan? Yeah, I'm actually working on March Vicksburg, and it's actually going to be a group tour where you guys will be able to sign up for it. It shouldn't be that expensive. And I'm planning 3 days where I'll be your tour guide, and we'll actually go to all of the main sites of the Vicksburg campaign. Bruinsburg and Grand Gulf and Port Gibson and Raymond and Jackson and Champion Hill and then Vicksburg. So I'm working on that. That'll be a 3-day thing that people can come and be a part of. So that probably March. I'm working on that because there's a lot going on the first half of next year that's already planned, and I'll fill you guys in on some of those here as we go along in the stream. About all the first half of my year is already pretty heavily booked as far as historic sites go. And some things that I'm going to get to be a part of that I'm pretty excited about. So winter sets the temperature in the next hot tub stream. Hey, so there's an announcement I can make for you guys. So if you joined any of the hot tub streams, you know we were streaming live from Verdun in France, and it was me and a bunch of my friends. Well, our same group, our group chat in WhatsApp is called Backstreet Boys, because if you saw the chat, you know we were singing I Want It That Way. So anyway, but we're adding JD from the History Underground. So he's going to be joining us in Ypres in Belgium end of next May. That's our next one. And so I believe we are getting a place that has a hot tub again. So hot tub streams. And if we're lucky, we'll get JD in the hot tub for the hot tub streams. So we'll see. Casual, thank you so much for that. Appreciate that. Oh, there's JD now. I just realized JD was in the stream. You're gonna brand 400K onto a grilled cheese sandwich and send it to me. Well, I'll feed it to my kids because I'm not a huge grilled cheese person myself. Adam J, thank you so much. Life with Sean. I don't really know anything about the Freeze Rebellion in Bucks County, Pennsylvania in 1799. Need to learn a little bit about that one. Andrew, what's going on, man? Andrew, good to see you. Been slackening on your watch time. Have I seen any movies lately? Finally watched Oppenheimer. It took me a while to finally catch up to that one. It was all right. I wasn't like blown away by it. It was a little too artsy for me. Honestly, I prefer Fat Man and Little Boy, kind of the made-for-TV movie that they did about the same subject. Because I felt like I learned a lot more about the project in that one. Oppenheimer was really more of a experience than a historical tale, I guess. It wasn't bad. It was way better than Napoleon. But other than that, yeah, Napoleon's the only other one I've seen. Oh, yeah, Steve, you're right. I do need to do that video from the USS Cairo. Listen, I'm telling you guys, I've got like 30 videos worth of stuff that I need to edit and get uploaded. How many presidential graves have I visited? I tell you what, in a minute we'll pull up the list of presidents, and I'll count them for you. I did do a video about how great Woodrow Wilson was. Han. Thank you. Appreciate that. Am I a fan of the Columbus Blue Jackets? I'm not really into hockey. Hockey is probably my least favorite of the major sports. When I do follow it, it's usually because the Pittsburgh Penguins get into the playoffs. They're the family that used to own the Pittsburgh Penguins, who also happen to own the San Francisco 49ers and Leeds United in the English Championship League, live right down the street from me. But they used to own the Penguins as well. Rook, thank you. Yes, I want to get to Fort Necessity. I actually made a video there a few years ago, but it was not great quality, and I never uploaded it. I had a feeling JD would say he wasn't getting in any hot tubs, so maybe we'll do a live stream from Ypres that's not in the hot tub for those who are so inclined. Tasty chocolate shop opposite the cloth hall. Yeah, I've been to Ypres. If you guys saw my series I did from Ypres last year, that was where I met Rob from History in Your Hand for the first time, and Rob will be there with us. Ypres is a great town. I really enjoy it. You have an ancestor who, Aries the Lone Wolf, was in the 72nd Ohio. Yeah, they were in more than just Vicksburg. They were in quite a few great battles. I have texts here from Mr. Terry and from Mr. Beat. So, so Mr. Terry says it's a good idea to make a wager, but he also says don't be surprised if I completely sell out for subs and start doing some degenerate content. So I also have a okay, so Mr. Beat uses StreamYard, not Streamlabs. That's probably my problem. I need to use StreamYard. Okay, so there we go. Yeah, Salmonella did post a new video, and I did a reaction to it this morning. Mr. Beat did a reaction to it as well. I mean, not Mr. Beat, Mr. Terry. Favorite book of the Bible? James. I would say James. So, yeah, we'll take a look at the presidential list here, and I'll tell you how many graves I've been to. I did see 1917, and I did like it. Ouija board videos coming very soon, actually. My brother-in-law now has a YouTube channel where he talks about like paranormal and supernatural and like mysterious type things, and I'll probably come on his channel and talk about that sometime as well. I am a baseball fan. I did see the last season of The Crown. I thought it was really good. The last 10 minutes were phenomenal. I mean, I was really liked how they ended that series. I do need to do something on the Gilded Age. So real quick, JD can play the part of Bert. Well, let me tell you a little bit about Bert. I think Bert's going to be in Ypres with us. That's all I'll say about that. Bert may or may not have left Verdun when the rest of us did. That's all I'll say about that. All right, so let's take a look at the list of U.S. presidents, and I'll tell you which ones I have visited their graves. You'll be surprised at a few of the ones I haven't visited, actually. All right, so let's take a look here. I'm actually going to zoom this in so we can see the list a little better. All right, let's start at the top. George Washington, buried in Mount Vernon. I have not been there, even though it's right outside of Washington, D.C., where I've been a ton of times. I have never been to George Washington's grave. So let me catch up on chat. My running fitness challenge and what's going on with my podcast. Travis, thank you. More podcasts are coming soon, probably in the next week or so. I have visited Sagamore Hill. I was there just a couple months ago, actually. Frankie from Derby in the UK. Very cool. I'm hoping to get there when I'm in the UK in February because I have a lot of ancestors from Derbyshire. A place called Newton Salney, as well as, where else? Repton, little towns. Vaslav, what's going on, man? Roaming history. Hey, man, thank you for that. And if you guys haven't already, you absolutely have to check out Roaming History's channel. I'm going to do some more reactions to his soon. sometimes the YouTube algorithm just needs to get caught up, and that's a channel people need to see. He covers the civil rights movement, does historic site videos. I want to do his Emmett Till video, which I know is going to be very upsetting and very difficult, but it's a story we need to talk about. Is Emmett Till was a pivotal moment, a horrible moment, but a pivotal moment in the civil rights movement. So if you have any interest at all in the civil rights movement and its history, check out Roaming History. You won't be disappointed for sure. Thank you, Stampede 122. All right, John Adams is buried in Quincy, Massachusetts. I have been there. They're in the basement of the church there. It's John Adams and his wife, Abigail, his son, John Quincy Adams, and his wife, Louisa, I think is her name. So I've visited both of those. I have not been to Charlottesville, where Thomas Jefferson is buried at Monticello. James Madison is buried in Virginia. Haven't been to his either. I have been to James Monroe. He's buried in Hollywood Cemetery in Richmond. Wasn't originally buried there. Was buried in New York City when he died, but was moved to Hollywood Cemetery. He's actually buried really close to John Tyler there. So John Quincy Adams, I have. Andrew Jackson, I have. He's buried at the Hermitage right outside of Nashville at his home. Martin Van Buren, I haven't been to his, and I'm guessing he's buried in New York. William Henry Harrison, he's buried right outside of Cincinnati. I have been to his. John Tyler's in Richmond. I've been to his. James Polk is buried on the grounds of the Capitol building in Nashville, and I have been to his grave. Zachary Taylor's I can't believe I remember most of these. Zachary Taylor's in Louisville, Kentucky, and I have been to his grave. Millard Fillmore, Buffalo? I feel like I've been to his, and it's in Buffalo, New York. I'm pretty sure I've been to his in Buffalo. Somebody can confirm that in the chat. Drew, thank you. Sent 600 subs. That is so cool. You have a YouTube channel where you humanize historical figures. Very cool. I'll have to check that out, and thank you for that. I'll get to some more of your questions here soon. Let's see. Where are we at? Franklin Pierce. Yes, I've been to his grave. He is in New Hampshire, I think. If I remember right, it was New Hampshire is where I saw his grave. James Buchanan, yes, I've been to his in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Abraham Lincoln, I have not been to Abraham Lincoln's grave yet. I need to get to that one. Andrew Johnson, Greenville, Tennessee. I've been to Greenville, Tennessee, but I haven't been to his grave. Molar Mechanic, thank you. I appreciate that. Spencer, I lived in Owensville, Indiana. It's half hour or so from Evansville. So where are we at? Grant, yes. Been to Grant's grave. He's buried in Manhattan in New York City. Largest mausoleum in the Western Hemisphere, I believe. Certainly in the United States. Rutherford B. Hayes. Haven't been to his, and his is here in Ohio. Haven't been to his grave yet. That's one I need to get to. He's over in, it's like 2 hours from here. It's really not that far away. Let's see. James Garfield, yes. Garfield's grave, along with McKinley's, would be the two closest to where I live. They're both about an hour away. Garfield's buried right outside of Cleveland in Lakeview Cemetery. Did a video there. Chester Arthur, I have not been to his grave. I'm not even sure where he's buried exactly. I'm trying to remember. Grover Cleveland, haven't been to his, and I don't remember where he's buried either. I'm guessing New Jersey, but I'm not 100% sure. Benjamin Harrison, I haven't been to, but I need to get there. He's in, I think, Crown Hill Cemetery in Indianapolis, which is a very historic cemetery and definitely a place I'd like to get to. William McKinley, yes, absolutely been there many times. He's buried in Canton, about an hour away from me. Arthur's buried in Albany. Okay, very cool. Theodore Roosevelt actually is the most recent presidential grave that I've been to. Oyster Bay, right outside of New York City. I have been there. Elijah, thank you. Appreciate that. Louisville native. what is my advice for someone who just graduated with a BA in history, paths and the like, preferably not law school? Honestly, it depends on what your passion is. You could maybe get a master's and teach in college. I mean, you could get a teaching degree and teach in high school or something. You could work in a museum, maybe work on like preservation, or get involved in some organization where you can be involved in teaching history through some specific organization. It really just depends on what your passion is as far as history goes. Jeremy, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, I should do something about John Paul Jones for sure. Who's my favorite Fulham player at the moment? Tim Ream, absolutely. Got to see him play live when I was there at Craven Cottage. Where are we at? William Howard Taft, buried in Washington, well, right outside of Washington, D.C. in Arlington National Cemetery. I have been there. Woodrow Wilson, the only president buried in Washington, D.C. At the National Cathedral. I have been there. Warren Harding is buried here in Ohio in Marion. I have been there. It was a really cold day. My son and I were going to see Columbus Crew play, opening game of the season, and we stopped by his grave. Calvin Coolidge, one of my favorite presidential graves. It's in Vermont, and I was there speaking for Rachel's Challenge and had time, so I went by Calvin Coolidge's grave when I was there on this hillside. Really cool location. So yes, I have been to his grave. I have not been to Herbert Hoover's grave, which I'm guessing is it in Iowa? I'm thinking he's in Iowa. Franklin Roosevelt, I have not been to his grave. That's in New York. Harry Truman, haven't been to his. I'm guessing it's in Missouri. Dwight Eisenhower, I was supposed to go to Dwight Eisenhower's grave. I was in Kansas speaking at a school that was like 25 miles from Eisenhower's grave, but his gravesite was closed because of COVID, and so I didn't go, or else I would have been there. I have been to Kennedy's grave at Arlington. Lyndon Johnson, I have not. That's down in Texas. I have been to Richard Nixon's grave in California. I have been to Gerald Ford's grave in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Jimmy Carter's still with us, but I have been to Plains, Georgia, where he will be buried. Ronald Reagan, I have not been to his grave in California. George Bush, when I was in the town where his presidential library is, he hadn't passed away yet, so no. And then all the rest are still living. So I don't know how many that is, but I've been to quite a few, but I definitely have a goal, and I know JD does too, and others do, of getting to all the presidential graves. And there's some that are easy for me. I mean, I could make a day trip out of a few of those and knock them off real quick. I need to get to Lincoln's, though, and Washington's for sure. It was Walpole. I'll forgive your username there. How did I like Vienna and Austria as a whole? Austria, honestly, was one of my favorite countries I've ever been to, and I loved Vienna, and I can't wait to get back. Working on planning another trip, the same tour that we did, to take a whole new group, because I do want to go back, and I'm going to take my son Eli with me because he wants to go to Germany and Austria really bad. So Mr. Terry just texted me again. He says, let's chat. Let's let the chat decide with super chats for the charity tomorrow. So when I go live with him tomorrow for his charity stream, we'll do a poll or something. We'll let super chat decide what our wager is for who gets to 500K subs first. Steve Clark says, everyday Jimmy Carter is still here is a good news story. I could not agree more. The world is a better place with James Earl Carter in it. And his wife just recently passed away, and you know, you can tell a lot about somebody by the way people speak of them at their funeral. And her funeral was a beautiful thing to see for sure, and I'm sure his will be as well. But honestly, I will say this though: wow, the world's a better place with Jimmy Carter in it. Seeing where he is in his life and in his health, especially now that his wife's gone. And knowing that he shares the faith that I have and the hope that I have about eternal life, I have not. We're going to play some GeoGuessr here in just a minute. Eleanor, very cool. I hope you make it either way. Whatever you decide you want to do. Roaming history, that's a great question. I didn't know about it at the time, but at the time, if I had known, I found out recently that you could actually go to his church, and they actually had a thing set up on their website where you could sign up to attend if he was teaching Sunday school that day. And I absolutely would have been all over that if I could have. The only reason I ended up in Plains, Georgia is because I was going to Andersonville to visit the Civil War prison, and it's super close to Plains, Georgia, where he's from. It's in that same part of the state, very nearby, and I didn't even realize that until I was on my way. So, but that would have been amazing to meet President Carter for sure. King John is buried near Tipton. Is he really? He's at he's in a cathedral. I forget which one though. I didn't realize it was that close to Tipton though. Thoughts on the Browns? Oh my gosh, I have never in my life seen a team have injuries like that team. They were on like their 12th and 13th offensive linemen in the game yesterday. They, going into yesterday's game, had lost 3 of their 5 starting offensive linemen from the start of the year, and then they lost another one, and then they lost one or two of the backups as that game went on. So they were down to 1 starting lineman from the start of the year, and they were on like the 3rd string for at least 2 other positions. It was crazy. We've lost a number of starters on defense for the rest of the season. We, of course, lost our all-pro running back, our previously Pro Bowl quarterback, but Joe Flacco has been amazing so far. So that's cool. And Lauren Harding, thank you so much, and thank you for your continued long-time support of this channel. Is there a snowstorm going on in Ohio? Yeah, I wouldn't call it a snowstorm. 1 to 3 inches we're supposed to get tonight, and just in the last couple hours the ground has turned white from the snow that has fallen. But no, we're not supposed to get a lot. All right, so you know what? Let's play a little bit of GeoGuessr here while I'm catching up on the chat and things, and I'll continue to do Worcester Cathedral. That's where he is, next to Prince Arthur, who was the older brother of Henry VIII. Okay. I didn't realize. Yeah, I guess that is pretty close to Tipton. So as we play some GeoGuessr, I'll fill you guys in on some of the upcoming adventures and also some of the original content that you can expect coming soon. 1 to 3 inches, we won't even blink about that here. So what nation's history am I most interested in other than the U.S.? It would be the UK for sure. You're getting 6 to 7 inches in Geauga County, really? Because when I checked Menor, I usually look at Menor, which is where President Garfield's from, because usually if anybody gets nailed with snowstorms, it's them. And when I last checked, their forecast was identical to ours. So interesting. Gordon Lightfoot. I don't know much about him, Scottish Mad Lad, other than the song he wrote about the death of, or the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald. All right, so we're going to invite you guys to some GeoGuessr here in just a second. First, I'm going to pick what we're going to do. I'm just going to type in the word history and see if anything fun comes up. Here's one that's just called Places in History, so maybe we'll do that one. So this will be a live challenge. So here we go. I'll post the link for you guys so you can join. Actually, you know what? I can't post the link because of the way I have my chat set up. But you can see it there, geoguessr.com/join. And then there's the code 8HM9. So you'll be able to just join that way. How close am I to the Alliance and Salem area, Mike? I am 6 miles from Salem. So there you go. I live 6 miles. The Walmart in Salem, 6 miles from my house. And my wife actually is a school counselor at Sebring. So down in that area too. Snapshot in history. Are you in Beattyville, Kentucky? Because that's crazy if you are. Am I still a youth pastor? No, I am a pastor though. I preach at a church on Sunday mornings, but I don't do much else during the week. I just mostly do Sunday mornings. Who do I think is the Union's best division commander? I think John Gibbon, Jacob has to be in that conversation for sure. He definitely should be. I'd have to think about that a little bit. But yeah, I think John Gibbon would be one of the people you could talk about. Was Kosminski Jack the Ripper? Yeah, I think he probably was. Czech Republic, Prague specifically, absolutely. Sooner rather than later. And I also, on that trip, would like to get to Austerlitz. So I want to go there specifically to go to Prague and go to Austerlitz. Hopefully that'll be a trip that I can make soon. So GeoGuessr, you join by geoguessr.com/join. It's right there on the screen. Where did I live in PA? I lived in Mercer County, all the way in the west part, only half hour from where I live now. I have not been to Napoleon, Ohio. I did see Minnesota's getting a new flag, which the prototype I saw looks surprisingly like the Somali flag, which I know Minnesota has the largest Somali immigrant presence anywhere in the country. Going to Normandy next year, probably not, but I am going to be in Europe right before the 80th anniversary, so we'll see. But I don't think I'll be there that long because we're going to Ypres that weekend before, but I think our Ypres trip ends on June 3rd, so I'll be close enough, so maybe. We'll see. 80th anniversary, it's going to be nuts because it was nuts on the 79th anniversary. Nick, you live in Mercer County. I went to school at Teal College. I was married in transfer. I lived in transfer for 7 years. Shakelyville. Yeah, I know where Shakelyville is. From Greenville. Very cool. I lived in right outside of Evansville. Lived in Gibson County, Indiana. Michael Lamb, thank you. I appreciate that. You started watching at 20,000. Awesome. I do need to do some more Australian history for sure. How do you get on, Lauren? I'll put the invite up one more time before we get started here. I'll put it up for a couple more seconds. Were John and Abigail ahead of their time? Yeah, I'd say a little bit they were. Union Jack the Ripper, thank you. Shame about the Rangers shirt. I'm not wearing it now, though. I'm wearing West Brom now. From York, one of my favorite cities in the world, York in the UK. I do need to do some Swedish history, and I definitely want to visit Sweden. I have Swedish roots. Cincinnati, it's all right. History Dose, thank you. Appreciate that. Hopefully you'll get there, too. Actually, you're way ahead of me, aren't you? How many subs do you have now? Oh, yeah, you're way ahead of me. 682,000. So I hope you get to 1 million before I get to 500,000. So congratulations. All right, here we go. Sweden gave us ABBA. All right, we're going to go ahead and start this one. I need to check the settings real quick. We're going to lower the round time to 30 seconds. All right, here we go. NR, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Places in history. These are hit or miss, though. These GeoGuessrs are really hit or miss when it comes to whether they're good or not. But boy, this one looks awfully familiar. I gotta look around a little bit. I know where this is. I'm trying to figure out precisely where this is in the place that I know it is. Oh, geez, that was fast. Holy cow. Dang. All right. I'm not even going to have time to click on Gettysburg. It's definitely Gettysburg, but I didn't have time. I guess I got pretty close to where it was. Where did I click? Was I all the way over there? I don't know. No, I was 6 miles from Gettysburg. All right. I guess I got to stop talking and do this a little faster. Ooh, okay. Definitely Eastern Europe. I feel like this has got to be... All right, there's a river there. All right. I got a hunch this is Volgograd, formerly Stalingrad. Whether or not I can find it fast enough is another question. I'm thinking that's where this is, though. I'm just guessing. Yes, it was. Awesome. I just had a hunch. That's what that looked like to me. Ooh, I'm in first. That's crazy. At least these are good. Oh, I know exactly where this is. I don't even need to see it. That is a dead giveaway right there. That's the most well-known, horrible eyesore of a monument on that battlefield. I'm waiting a little bit because I don't want to give people time to guess it by watching me. I'll be going here next summer. I don't know exactly where it is on the battlefield, but that's Waterloo for sure. So, next summer, I think the first week of July, I'm going to be going to Waterloo. And I don't know if any of you have seen it. I forget exactly the name of it, but there's a YouTube channel that shows there's this organization that is doing archaeological digs at the Waterloo battlefield site. And one of the guys from Time Team has been a part of it. And they do it for combat veterans like from the UK that are like dealing with PTSD as a way of helping them. And so I reached out to them and said, hey, you've got this fantastic organization doing great work, but I feel like nobody knows about it. I'd love to come out and just cover what you're doing for a few days and talk about it on my channel. So I'm going to be out there with them for their next dig at the Waterloo battlefield in July. So pretty excited about that. Yes, the Waterloo battlefield with Rod Steiger or movie is really, really good. Ooh, what is this? Dang, I got no clue on this one. Wow. I don't even know where to start. I mean, there's nothing that really gives me any kind of hints on this one. So I'm just going to guess, I don't know, something in Warsaw, Poland. I don't know. Charles, thank you. Appreciate that. It did feel European, didn't it? But it was all the way down here. Right outside of Zagreb. Okay. Well, I'm still barely winning though. All right, I think this is the last one. Okay. It's a pyramid. It doesn't let me move around at all. I don't know. I'm kind of getting South American vibes here. Could also be like Spain or something. But I honestly don't know. I'm just going to guess somewhere in South America. Oh, Turkey, maybe. Is the guy picking his nose? Oh, somebody said Turkey and they were dead on that one. Oh, Armenia, actually. Okay. What was it? Oh, it's the Monument to Armenian Genocide. Okay. Wow. That dropped me to third. All right, I think we'll do that one again because usually there's more than one set of things that you can see on that. So let me go back to the invite. So if anybody wants to join who hasn't, you can go ahead and join now. Joan of Arc discovered the Ark of the Covenant. Hamadan, thank you so much. What is my opinion on history videos not having sources listed? I think it probably is good practice, but I've also seen videos that list sources and then proceed to completely take those sources out of context or misinterpret them completely. And so in that case, the sources meant nothing at all. I think it's good. I like how, for example, Lemino does it, where he'll have like little things pop up on the screen, almost like it would be in a book. So yeah, I think it's probably a good idea, but I think a lot of us are probably too lazy to do it. I have not looked into the Battle of Shrewsbury and the story of John Bradmore. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and do another one. And the winged hussars arrived. Jacob, I'll answer your question in just a second. Okay. All right. Brother Nightclub. So we talking like Indonesia here? Polisi Iskandar, no. A lot of English. I got nothing. I got absolutely nothing. It's not Ukraine. But I just had to click on something. It was Indonesia. I should have gone with my gut and clicked on Indonesia to start. The Bali Bomb Memorial. Okay. That wasn't too long ago, was it? All right, this looks like Russia. The color of the building reminds me a lot of like St. Petersburg, but this does not. I guess it could be St. Petersburg. So I guess we'll click on that. What do I think of the Musical 6? I saw it a couple months ago. It was good. Can't be Moscow. It's a port city. Moscow's not a port. That was actually Murmansk. Okay. That's their big, where a lot of their naval yards are. The Lenin. Oh, it's actually the world's first nuclear-powered ship. That's what we were looking at. Okay, so the question about starting a YouTube history channel. I would say find something that you're knowledgeable of and passionate about and start there. Whatever your channel is going to be about, make it something. I think it's more important to be authentic and knowledgeable than it is to be slick with all the right editing and graphics and all that stuff. That stuff is important and that stuff will help in the long run, but slick editing and graphics doesn't make up for a lack of enthusiasm or knowledge. So if you have those to start, you can build the rest and you can learn the rest. How important is it to be daily? Every channel is different. It honestly depends on the style of your channel and the way your channel goes about it. I think so. Mr. Terry, he only did a couple videos a week until recently. Now he started doing a lot more. I think that has helped him because of the nature of what our channels are. I think regular content, like almost every day of the week, I think helps. Somebody like JD, for example, with what he does, maybe doing 2-3 videos a week, that works great for what he does. And it would be hard to do more than that. I do want to visit Romania someday. Are we playing GeoGuessr the whole stream? No, we'll probably do some other stuff too. Oversimplified, yeah, no kidding. He hasn't uploaded in over a year. Come on, you baggies. That's right. I'm doing worse this time. All right, what do we got here? Infinity Design. All right, so we're in Finland. Beyond that, I'm not sure. But I'll just go with Finland, somewhere near Helsinki. When I get to Waterloo, say hi to Phil Harding for you, please. I will. All right, so that was specifically, some of you knew exactly where it was. The Turun Linna, 13th century castle. Ooh, very cool. History Kahoot. Yeah, we could do that. I'm not even in the top 5 right now. All right. All right, it's a river. Beyond that, I got nothing. All right, so it looks like it might be Dutch. It's definitely Dutch. Love the Netherlands. I don't know. Let's go to Rotterdam somewhere. Copenhagen? Oh, okay, maybe. No, it was Dutch. It was Arnhem? I've been to Arnhem. That looked nothing like Arnhem. No, I need to. Can I go back and see that? Because I've been to that exact spot, and that didn't look anything like the spot where the Airborne Museum is at the John Frost Bridge. Maybe it was down a little further. I've been in that exact spot. That didn't look like that at all. Vintage, thank you. Appreciate that. If I could prevent any president from getting in, who is it and why was it Woodrow Wilson in the 1912 election? It absolutely is. Have I seen the new? Yes, Dennis. I actually have watched their stuff on the Iraq War. It's fantastic. They do a great job as always. I didn't notice the John Frost Bridge in that video or in that image. I guess I just wasn't paying enough attention. Favorite historical quote? Wow. Boy, that's such a broad question. I've got so many. The first thing that comes to mind is Lincoln's second inaugural address, though. Just outside the museum? Really? Because I've been there. I guess I wasn't paying attention enough. What American battlefield do I wish was in better shape? Fredericksburg. Thoughts on Elton John? Very talented guy. Seems like a cool guy to hang out with. I have seen the Napoleon movie. I did a whole video about the Napoleon movie. Okay, this is some random street. There is something going on here, but I can't tell what it is from here, and I don't think it'll let me move. Oh, yeah, it'll let me move a little bit. Just let me see the sign. I don't know, UK somewhere. It was the UK. Where was that? Bletchley. Oh, it was Bletchley Park. I need to get there too. What historical book do I suggest reading? Well, right now I'm really into Napoleon, and Napoleon A Life is a fantastic book. But if you're into the Civil War, I would say start with Grant's memoirs. Fantastic. The Gray Albatross, thank you. I actually talked a little bit about Rosalind Carter and her funeral earlier. I said I think you can learn a lot about a person by how people talk about them at their funeral, and hers was beautiful. And it sounds like she was a beautiful person as well. Thoughts on religion, Cosmo? Well, I'm a pastor, so there's my thoughts on religion. Do I love Indiana Jones? Absolutely. Favorite, most interesting Napoleonic era figure besides Napoleon? Am I drinking Monster? No, it's Mountain Dew Zero. Grant by Chernow is fantastic as well. Thoughts on Mr. Beat being woke? I saw that he did that stream a little while ago. I have to watch it first. I watched maybe 10 minutes of it because I was getting ready for this. So I didn't get to see more of it. Napoleonic era figure aside from Napoleon. William Pitt, Prime Minister of the UK for me. Gabriel, thank you for that. Appreciate that. Thoughts on Mike Johnson? I don't really have much. I know that he's a friend of a friend. Good friend of mine who really is more of a family member has known Mike Johnson for decades, and they're from the same town, and speaks very highly of him. But it's hard to judge people based on what you see on TV, you know. Canadian topics. Yeah, for me, the interest in Canadian topics is really about World War I for me right now, and I want to get to Vimy Ridge. Why is Ohio so swingy in U.S. elections? Yeah, blue-collar workers with conservative values, I guess. I mean, it's hard for me to judge because the part of Ohio I live in is one of the bluest parts of Ohio, and up until last year, I'd had Democratic congressmen my entire life. This is the first time in my life that where I live is represented by a Republican in Congress. So it has been a swing, though we still have one Democratic senator too. I think Ohio has become more conservative, but then again, we just voted to legalize marijuana and enshrined a right to an abortion in the Ohio Constitution. So we're not as conservative as some people think we are. So we are very swingy, aren't we? Voted for Trump twice, but did those other things I just mentioned. So interesting. Will I do your ancestry, Volushkin? Sorry, I'm actually not doing that for people anymore because I was getting like 20 requests a day, and I just couldn't do it, unfortunately. Who do I think will win the Premier League this year? I'm hoping that it's Arsenal, but we'll see. Thoughts on the new Minnesota flag? I don't like any of the options I've seen so far. Favorite state not Ohio? Kentucky. Is legalizing pot still considered conservative? I didn't know what it, conservative or liberal. I don't know. Seems like the more liberal states tend to be the places where it gets legalized, but. Hey, Zach Mills, what's going on? All right, let's do one more GeoGuessr, and then we'll do something different. We're gonna change this though. I need to do something that I know. So we're gonna do a Civil War GeoGuessr. I don't know if I could give good advice about someone wanting to get into archaeology because I've never done it myself. So if I'd said Liverpool, you would have to consider unsubscribing. Fair. Yeah, we'll do some Kahoot here shortly. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate that. I'll put the invite up again real quick for those who want to join. Chelsea or Liverpool? Probably Chelsea of those two. I do have Swedish ancestors. In fact, my ancestry's fairly Swedish. Here, I'll show you my DNA here in just a second. Oh, I hate that Ancestry makes you do has a two-factor thing now to log in. Makes it really annoying to log into my Ancestry account. I have to get a code every single time. I get why they do it, but I hate it. All right, let's see. Let's pull up my DNA. And then I'll pull it over onto the screen for you. All right, here's my DNA estimate. You can see there I'm about 6% Sweden and Denmark. 66% England, Northwestern Europe, 14% Scotland, 4% Wales, 3% Germanic Europe. My percentage of Germanic ancestry is actually much higher than that. I just didn't inherit it. That's one of the things you have to understand about DNA is just because your DNA test shows this, it doesn't mean that that's what percentage of your ancestors came from that spot. It just means that that's what you inherited. Because I also have an aunt and two of my grandparents' DNA tests, and their results are very different. Sporkle would be good too, Christopher. You're right. Nigeria 2%, Ivory Coast and Ghana 1%, Cameroon 1%. So 4% Africa. Well, that's because I have a great-great-grandmother who was black. And there you have it. My third great-grandmother was actually born into slavery in Kentucky in 1856. So I've been trying to do a lot of research on her. It's been tough. MSB Hicks, no, I don't think anybody would have beaten Eisenhower. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and dive into this. Who's my favorite musician? These days, I would say Ed Sheeran. Wilson or Hitler, who was more evil? Definitely Hitler. I mean, that's not even a discussion, really. All right, so we've got a random road here. And normally I'd pride myself on random roads and being able to figure out where they are, but in this case, really not sure. So I'm just gonna go with somewhere here in Virginia. Wow, I got no idea where that is. Where was it? Oh, it's right outside of the Richmond airport. Interesting. Probably why I haven't been to that spot. All right. Dang. This is another one I haven't been to. But it feels like I'm getting Petersburg vibes from this one, but I really don't think that's where this is. I am loving the Joe Flacco experience so far. Oh, that was Perryville. That's why I haven't been to Perryville yet. That's a battlefield I need to get to. Dang, I'm getting destroyed so far on this one. Tiger Lake. That sounds like Kentucky. So these are like some really obscure battlefields. Gosh, I don't even know where this would be. Oh, that was Philippi. Yeah, first battle of the Civil War, Philippi. And that is how it's pronounced. Let's catch up on the chat. Carl, thank you for that. Operation Jaywick. Australian Z forces took Japanese fishing boat to Borneo. They canoed 100 meters to Singapore to plant limp mines. No, I haven't. I'll have to check that out. I did vote in the 2000 presidential election. Yes, 96 was my first presidential election that I was eligible to vote in. What did I think of the Supreme Court decision at the time? I think it's unfortunate the Supreme Court needed to even get involved. I think it was pretty clear cut from the start that the votes just weren't going to be there for Gore, no matter how many ways they tried to recount it. It wasn't going to change the outcome. So no, my view hasn't changed on that. I think it's unfortunate the Supreme Court had to get involved. It should have never gotten that far. All right. I'm pretty sure I know where this is. I'm trying to figure out exactly where it is, if I can do that quickly. Oh, this is exactly, I'll tell you, I know exactly where that is. I don't know if I can find it on a map this fast. But that is the exact spot where Lee and Stonewall Jackson met to plan the flank attack at Chancellorsville. So, yeah, it's right there, the Lee Jackson bivouac site. I've been to that exact spot. How far away was I? 71 yards. All right, fair enough. All right, now at least I made it back into fourth with that one. Ooh. No signs or anything. This is just a... This actually reminds me of that road that follows the Jackson flank attack site. But that's not what it is. No, I think that's Shiloh. I'm not 100% sure of that, though. Gotta hurry up and click on it, though. It wasn't Shiloh. It was Stones River, Murfreesboro. Okay. Never been to the Stones River battlefield. Who's the most evil person in history? I mean, that's impossible to just say one person was the most evil in history. It's probably somebody we've never even heard of. Yeah, I need to do the new Starve Hard video. American Revolution or Civil War, favorite history to learn? Definitely Civil War. Oh, I ended up winning just barely. Oh, what a comeback. All right, we'll do one more of those and then we'll play some trivia. Nathan, thank you. Favorite biography I've ever read? Grant by Ron Chernow. Second probably would be, also by Ron Chernow, would be Alexander Hamilton. All right, give you guys one more chance to join. This will be our last GeoGuessr that we'll do. I would love to visit Jerusalem if things calm down a little bit. Yes, Alex, I would like to visit the Trinity site. I will get to some more Montemayor videos. Thomas Alexander Dumas, we'll talk about him at some point. Who had the most Riz in history? Now you sound like my kids. Hamilton's probably up there for the Riz in history, though. Glenn, I appreciate that. I have not been to Sweden. Snapshot in history, very cool. I have not visited Auschwitz. I would like to get to Poland, though. Pre-modernist. I'll have to check that out sometime. More history outside Europe and America. I would, but it doesn't typically do well on the channel. I haven't read Washington's Secret Six, but I know the story, yeah. Haven't done a Battle of Chosin Reservoir, but I should get into some Korean War history at some point. Roaming history. You did visit Trinity. Awesome. I look forward to that video. Was I disgusted when I saw Woodrow Wilson's grave? No, because I haven't been to his grave since I was in middle school, and I didn't hate him at the time. Okay, let's go ahead and do this last one, then we'll do some trivia or something. Okay. Oh, I know exactly where this is. If you've ever seen any of my videos, I did a video on this exact monument right here. All right, so I know about where this is. This is somewhere in this general area right here on the Gettysburg battlefield. Would I vomit on Wilson's grave? It's in a church, so I'd probably not vomit. He's actually buried in the same place as Helen Keller. Oh, it's 224 yards away. I was further away than I thought. George B., you joined Patreon. It hasn't been updated in a while. What specifically hasn't been updated, do you mean? This isn't giving me a lot here. That looks like a university of some kind. I'm running out of time. University of Mary Washington. So Virginia. I'm just going to guess Virginia real quick. Fredericksburg, yeah. At least I clicked on Virginia in time. Still puts me in 5th place, though. Ooh, this looks familiar, but I need something more than just big empty fields to help me with this one. I don't know if I went the right way, though. Fort Jackson. Okay. Fort Jackson's down here. I don't know exactly where, though. I'm just going to guess right there. Oh, it was further down. Okay. So Fort Jackson and St. Philip were the forts that guarded the Mississippi River from the ocean to New Orleans. And it was important because New Orleans fell to the Navy. It was the Navy that got past the forts, got up to New Orleans, and took the city, which was the largest city in the Confederacy. Carl Webster, very cool. Thank you for that. Oh, I'm in first place now, and I've already got more points than last time. All right. Oh, I know where this is. I'm afraid to turn around because I'll give it away. Yeah, that's easy. I need to get back there. That's a really cool place to visit. Definitely Harper's Ferry. Are monarchies outdated? Constitutional monarchies, I would say no. In fact, I prefer them as a form of government. I'd take the UK government over the US government any day. J76 New York, thank you. All right, we got one more to go. Yep. Ooh, there's a speed limit sign. That doesn't do me any good. Let's go into this town and see if I can figure something out from where this is. Got nothing. Nothing. Oh, it's Pennsylvania. That's got to be... Where is that? I mean, I guess it's got to be Gettysburg, right? I don't think 34 goes through Gettysburg, though, does it? It was Gettysburg. Where at? I didn't recognize that part of Gettysburg. I was north of town. That's why. All right. What about constitutional monarchy do I like better specifically? I like that the head of state is not something that changes every couple of years like our president is. You still have a head of government that's elected, but I like the stability of a monarch as head of state. Okay. So Sporkle. Can we do Sporkle? I don't even know if I have a Sporkle account. Guess we'll find out. Oh, I guess I do. My image is Grant. All right, that's kind of cool. John Reedy, that's right. Civil War nerds indeed. History by the numbers. What kind of trivia would that be, I wonder? Oh, gosh. Wow. That actually would be really interesting. How can we do that as something where we get more people? I don't know if it's showdown or challenge. Like, how do we get more people to do it is the question. No, I don't want to do that. Is that even something we can get other people to do? I tell you what. I'm just going to do one just while we're sitting here just because it'll be fun, and then we'll kind of go from there. 8 presidents to die in office. Let's start there. So Zachary Taylor, Lincoln. Let's do the 4 assassinated ones. Garfield, Kennedy, and who was the other assassinated one? McKinley. Then you have, before Zachary Taylor, we had Harrison. After McKinley, then we have Harding and Roosevelt. So those are the 8 presidents to die in office. Oh, gosh. First president of the United States, Washington. 2 states admitted in 1959 is Hawaii and Alaska. I'm working backwards here. 3 Axis powers. Oh, yeah, Germany, Japan, and Italy. 4 original Canadian provinces. Upper Canada. No? All right, we're going to do it this way. Quebec, Ontario, Manitoba? No. British Columbia? Or is it C-O-L like this? No? You can't see the text. It's way too small. All right. There we go. I haven't looked at the answers that you guys are giving yet. So, New Brunswick. Oh, what's the fourth one? Nova Scotia? There we go. All right, we're on the first 5 Roman emperors. So, Augustus. Nero's got to be one of those, right? Caligula. Tiberius. Did I spell that wrong? I guess maybe I did. Oh, it's I-U-S. Caligula, Nero. Who am I forgetting? Claudius. Yep. 6 national flags of Texas. Confederate. United States. Texas Republic. Mexico. Spain. And who am I forgetting? France? Yep. Thank you, everyone who's just saying congratulations. Appreciate that. 7 wonders of the ancient world. Pyramids. Colossus of Rhodes. The Mausoleum at Halicarnassus. Hanging Gardens of Babylon. What am I forgetting? The library at Alexandria. No, the Lighthouse of Alexandria. No, that's not ancient world. Christ the Redeemer. Temple of Artemis. And what am I forgetting? The Temple of Zeus. The statue of Zeus. No. No, it's not the Parthenon. Yeah, statue of Zeus at Olympia. There we go. All right, 9 languages of old Warsaw Pact nations. We got to have Polish, right? German, Russian, Romanian, Hungarian, how about Czech? Italian? No. Bulgarian. Oh, yeah, there we go. Arabic, no. Ukrainian, yeah. No. Interesting. Wouldn't be Greek. What are we missing? Slovakian? Slovak. Albanian. There we go. We got them. Good job, guys. Good job. 10 Russian leaders since November 1917. Stalin was second. Who was before him? Oh, Lenin. So we've got... I'm going to butcher these spellings. Yeah, see what I mean? How about if I go Nikita? Is it just K-U? K-R? I don't know why I was thinking there was a H in there. Yeah, well, we know there's Putin. And we know there's Boris Yeltsin. Is it Gorbachev? Yeah, like that. Yeah, Yuri Andropov. Is it Yuri? Oh, yeah, it's Khrushchev. I forgot this. There we go. Yeah, Chernyenko. And who after Khrushchev? Nah, it's not Malenkov, because he would have been before Khrushchev if he was in that list. Brezhnev, Leonid Brezhnev. There we go. Hey, good job, guys. That was tough. I wish there was a way we could do this, like challenge friends and then you can do a timer. But I guess there's not really any easy way to do it that way, huh? All right, let's... Actually, you know what? Monarchs might be interesting. Monarchs of France. No, that doesn't help me. Monarchs of England. Also, this is another one of these. Oh boy. What languages do I speak? English. I can understand German. Can't really carry on a conversation. Same with French. Beria was never the leader of the Soviet Union. He was a leader, but he was not in charge. All right, so this will be fun. I'll do this real quick. William the Conqueror, William II, we got Henry I, Stephen. Yep, I'm trying to do these in order here while we're chatting. Now we're on to the Angevins. So we got Henry II. This is Richard I. Actually, the dates really helped me to nail this down. John. This is going to be Henry III. Edward I, Edward II, Edward III, then Richard I. Yes, I know my monarchs pretty well. Interesting. It's not putting Richard I in when I do that. That's really strange. How about them Cleveland Browns? Yes, sir. Oh, it's Richard II. That's why I'm an idiot. Yeah, it's Richard II. All right, then we're on to the usurper, Henry IV, Henry V, then Henry VI. Now we're on to the House of York. So Edward IV, 1483. That would be Edward V. Then Richard III. Then we're on to Henry Tudor, which would be Henry VII. Then Henry VIII, then his son Edward VI. Yeah, the dates really helped me a lot. I guess 1553 we're going with Lady Jane Grey. This is Mary I, Elizabeth. Kim Jong-il is the greatest general, huh? House of Stuart. All right, here we go. James I. Charles I, Charles II, James II, then this would be William and Mary, Anne. Now we're on to the Hanovers. So we got Georg I, Georg II, George III. George IV. Get all our Georges out of the way there. This is William IV. Then Victoria, Saxe-Coburg, and Gotha, which actually should have gone all the way through to Queen Elizabeth, but they changed the name. So Edward VII, George V, Edward VIII, George VI, Elizabeth II, Charles III. Okay, just-in-time history. Thank you. Appreciate that. Would I rather have been one of Andrew's two daughters? Would I rather one of Andrew's two daughters become the monarch or one of Anne's children? Definitely one of Anne's children, but preferably neither, since they would be pretty far down the line of succession. All right, so that was interesting. I'd never be able to do this with any of the other ones, though. Yeah, it is satisfying when you get a chain of like George the First, George the Second, George the Third, George the Fourth. When I'm in a contest for worst ACW general and my opponent is Pemberton, be pretty easy to beat Pemberton even if you are the worst. I can't, like, who would be worse than Pemberton? Wow, I don't know. World map? Oh boy. Dang. Countries of the world. Here we go. Who's worse, Wilson or Johnson? Ooh. Probably Johnson. All right. I'm going to start by doing all the countries I've been to. I'd never be able to do Monarchs of France. That would be terrible. So here's all the countries I've been to. And I'll try to do them in order of when I've been to them, if I can. Costa Rica, Bahamas.
BP and Amoco gasolines with Invigorate help clean your engine so you get more miles per tank to keep the tour and the adventures going. Next time you fuel up, do it with BP and Amoco gasolines with Invigorate and keep it going.
I forget how to mute the... It's up here, isn't it? Yeah, mute site. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. Most of them are Louis, yeah. Hey, Matthew Edmondson, what's going on? All right, so where was I? Oh, yeah, down here. Belize. Wish I could zoom in down there. Honduras. I'm just doing the ones I've been to so far. Belize, Honduras, Costa Rica, Mexico, Bahamas. Yeah. I think that's all the ones I've been to in the Western Hemisphere. Now we'll go to the ones I've been to over in Europe. So, I guess United Kingdom. France. Belgium. Luxembourg. Netherlands. Germany. Austria. I think that's all the ones I've been to in Europe so far. I'm going to add Italy here in April. Yeah, you know what? Kahoot would probably be more fun because then you guys can join in. Let me just, real quick, though. I'm not going to go through this whole thing. I do want to fill you guys in on what's ahead in 2024 a little bit. What's coming up. So as far as travel goes, I'm home I was in South Carolina last week. So you're going to be seeing some videos from the USS Yorktown, from the Hunley, Fort Sumter, Fort Moultrie, and some stuff downtown covering the slave trade, the slave markets, some of the historic buildings downtown that'll be coming. How have I been to the Bahamas? On a cruise. Done a couple cruises down there. Jordan, who are you going to see in April? Why do I sound so quiet? I shouldn't. Turn your volume up. Oh, yeah, in Vatican City, Joe. That's right. I will be also going to the Vatican City. So, be adding that one. So, first trip of 2024. Let's see what Mr. Terry says here. Ooh, awesome. So, should be some fun shenanigans. Big YouTuber going to be joining me and Mr. Terry tomorrow night, but unless he announces who it is, I don't want to give it away, but it'll be fun. All right, so anyway, next year, February, going to the UK, going to see Wes Brom finally for the first time live. Joe, who's in the chat, is going to take me in to see Parliament, so I'm excited about that. Let's see. Where else am I going on that trip? Oh, I'm going to be doing something with the guys from Decades. Don't know what we're up to yet. They haven't told me, but they've got some plan for us while we're together. You're going to see Leicester versus West Brom. Interesting. I'm going to see West Brom versus Cardiff City, so it should be a good game. Favorite Christmas movie? Besides Die Hard, it would be It's a Wonderful Life. March, Vicksburg. Early April, headed to Gettysburg to be a part of the Gettysburg Film Festival. Got invited to be a part of that. Hopefully going to get to meet and briefly interview Ken Burns while I'm there. That's the plan. Who knows what else we'll get up to during that. But I will be posting more about the Gettysburg Film Festival. That's something that's open to the public. So would absolutely be a great chance to come and meet me, and my son Eli will be there for that. But immediately after going to Gettysburg, I'm going to be flying out of Cleveland, and I'm specifically flying out of Cleveland on April 8th because the total solar eclipse goes right through Cleveland. So I'm going to get to watch the eclipse from the Cleveland airport right before I get on a plane to begin my journey to Rome. Going to be in Rome, Florence, Naples, and Cassino in Italy. So we're going to go to the Monte Cassino battlefield, going to Pompeii in Naples. Definitely going to be making some videos about the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, and showing you what Pompeii looks like today. I'm so excited about all of that. That is a group tour, and as of now, we still have 3 spots left on the Italy tour. So if you watch any of the videos from the Germany and Austria tour, the link for the Italy tour is in the description to those videos. So, Michael, glad you're going to be coming on the Italy trip. I'm excited to see you again, my friend. Michael was with us in Germany. So that's April, May, end of May, beginning of June, going to Ypres with the gang, same guys that were in Verdun with me, plus JD for this one. So that's exciting. We're going to have a lot of fun. Going to be doing some more content from the Ypres battlefield, World War I. Also in May, you know what? I feel like at this point I can just go ahead and say it. You guys have been awesome in this chat, and as a 400,000 subscriber celebration, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys what Project X is, because it's on IMDb now anyway. So let's go to IMDb for a minute. And if you look up The Great War, and specifically we want this one right here, you'll see some of the cast of The Great War. We've got people playing John Pershing and President Woodrow Wilson and Charles Dawes, Philippe Pétain, George Marshall, Douglas Haig. A lot more than that, too. Let's go to all cast and crew for a minute, because you're also going to get Ferdinand Foch and Henry Johnson. Khalid Daly, I believe, was in Hamilton on the West End. Horace Pippin is in there, and a number of others. So I can tell you that what the Great War is, that IMDb, over the summer, I got to fly to Minneapolis, where I recorded over the course of several hours my interviews for a 4-hour documentary that will air on the History Channel about the American involvement in the First World War. It's their typical style. It's the docudrama style, where you saw all those actors that are going to be portraying those characters. And then interspersed with that will be interviews with experts talking about these events. And I got to be one of the people that they interviewed as an expert on the First World War. And the producer who was interviewing me afterward told me they interviewed 25 people. There's 25 of us that were interviewed for that. And he told me that I was one of the 3 or 4 best that he had. And I really feel like he was being serious about that and wasn't just trying to make me feel good, because I was super nervous about that, man. They gave me a list of 100 questions that they could potentially ask me, and it was super detailed stuff. And I was one of the very last people to be interviewed. Like, I think there was only one more after me. So I was 24th out of 25. So by the time they got to me, they had been doing this for several weeks. They had covered, he said they had talked to people who were really strong in some areas, but didn't know a lot about, say, the tactics and the strategy and the actual battles themselves. So a day or two before the interview, he actually asked me if I would be willing to focus more heavily on those areas. And I said, sure. So I spent a lot of time talking about Saint-Mihiel and Cantigny and Chateau Thierry and Belleau Wood, and especially Meuse-Argonne. So chances are pretty good that what you'll see of me will probably more likely be heavily in the second of the two 2-hour episodes. And I'll probably be a lot more in the second one because our interviews focused very heavily on that stuff. They also filmed for what will be a 1-hour special on the Harlem Hellfighters. And I believe that's supposed to air in February. The Great War stuff's supposed to come out in May around Memorial Day. But they had a number of experts talk about the Harlem Hellfighters. So I only answered a couple questions about that. So there's a small chance I could be in that, but it's unlikely, just because I have other faces that will probably be more prominent and prominently shown in that. But I will definitely post when details start coming out about when and where it's going to air. Should be on the History Channel. I'm told it's going to be around Memorial Day. Originally it was supposed to be Veterans Day, supposed to be November, but they weren't going to have it ready in time. So they pushed it back to Memorial Day, and that's the last I've heard of it. So we'll see. But I'm excited. It's a topic I'm passionate about. And in conjunction with that, I was just in Verdun with my friends. That's where we did the hot tub streams from. And Verdun is really close to the Meuse-Argonne battlefields. And so I did a bunch of videos about the Meuse-Argonne historic site videos that I will be putting out in May around the time that comes out. So did a super long video, detailed video, retracing the steps of the Lost Battalion. So we went to all the sites associated with the Lost Battalion. So you'll get to see that. Did some stuff on Montfaucon. Went to the Meuse-Argonne American Cemetery again. Did some other stuff as well. So excited to bring all of that to you guys. Project X was a big house party you were planning. Oh, nice. No, nothing like that. I will do some more campaign trail at some point. They had a promo for Harlem Hellfighters today. Michael, awesome. Okay, so I'd pull it up and watch it, but I don't want to get copyright dinged. I definitely need to check that out. Napoleon's Marshals I'll definitely get to at some point in the near future. Yeah, History in Your Hand. Rob was with me for the Meuse-Argonne stuff. But are the videos I did on repeat a while back? Are they the videos I did on repeat a while back? No. No, I haven't put the Meuse-Argonne videos up yet. Who's my favorite king of England? Edward III. Five-star sailor, or star sailor. I don't think I got it yet. Yeah, Ethan, I'm impatiently waiting for Oversimplified as well. All right, let's do a couple of Kahoots here before we wrap up this stream. What was the first battlefield I visited that made me love it so much? Gettysburg. All right, so let me log in here. I thought I had a premium account for Kahoot, but I guess maybe I don't. If I don't, that means we're not really going to be able to play, because that means we'll be limited in terms of how many people can actually play. When will I be on the Joe Rogan podcast? When he invites me. So, unfortunately, I don't think this is going to happen now, so I'll just tell you about it. Couple of weeks ago, it was like 2 days before the Napoleon movie came out, the producer he was a booker. Like, he was the guy who scheduled guests for the Jesse Waters show, reached out to me. And I was scheduled to come on Jesse Waters, which I've never really seen the show, but I don't really watch cable news at all. Just makes me feel icky no matter which channel I watch. No, it's my computer. I was trying to figure out what noise that was. Reached out and wanted me to come on and do a segment talking about Napoleon. But then I guess they decided to wait till after the movie came out, and then the movie didn't get very good reviews, so they decided not to do it. Do Blook It. I don't think I've ever done that one before. Favorite historically accurate movie. Ooh. That's a great question. Would I do a video talking with At and Shay? If he was so inclined to invite me to do something, yes, I absolutely would. I've never done Blook It before. Blook It is chaotic. Cincinnati was not incredibly important. Just it was more of a staging point for folks going to other places. The Patriot, is all right. I have not seen War and Peace. I've seen clips of it, and it looks pretty good, actually. Tora 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 might be one of my favorite historically accurate movies. I think Waterloo would be another one. The Longest Days, pretty good. It's not horribly historically accurate, but it's decent. All right, so let's log into this. Learning about viewers' hometown history. New Year's resolutions. I don't really make any. If you're going to decide to do something to better yourself, why wait till New Year's? Just do it whenever. I have heard the song Youngstown. Yep, I only live a few miles from Youngstown, so Hunt for Red October is your favorite documentary. VTH. Let's go. Oh, it's... I agreed. Oh, I must need a different username. Oh, I didn't do that. That's why. Okay. The Death of Stalin. Yes. Favorite Queen of England, Elizabeth II. I haven't seen the new Princess in the Tower documentary. Not a fan of the Minnesota flag designs that I've seen. Lincoln is fantastic. Absolutely. All right, so what can we do here? History. Oh, boy. Let's get a little more specific, shall we? Minimum questions, 10. Let's do minimum plays, 1,000. Johnson's worse than Wilson because I think Johnson had a worse long-term impact on the country than Wilson did. Favorite Roman Emperor, Augustus. MacArthur, overrated. Napoleonic Wars. Ooh, that'd be interesting and tough. All right, let's do this one here. So how do we go about this? Oh, boy. Select live game mode. Now what do I do? Classic. Let's just do classic, shall we? Random question order, yes. Oh, wow, that's loud. I thought we muted that. I guess not. All right, so here's your play.blookit.com. And there's your code. What is deceptive dinos? YouTube ads. Are there ads running on this stream? Really? Downfall. Yes, fantastic. And Bruno Gantz was phenomenal in Downfall. Absolutely. Battle Royale is a good one for teams. Interesting. All right, we'll give it another 30 seconds or so, and then I'll start. You can only have 60 players. All right, I guess we're maxed out. Sorry, guys. Here we go. So don't watch my stream because it's going to be off. So how do I answer? Oh, I didn't join. Oh, I'm an idiot. Hold on. We got to start over again. I guess I wasn't thinking that I needed to join myself. So, all right, let's do this again. My apologies for anyone who didn't get in or who got in and now has to do it again. So should we do a different game mode? Yeah, it's a 60-player limit, unfortunately. Somebody said deceptive dinos. I don't know what that... A factory? All right, we'll do factory. We'll do dinos next time. How's that? Gold Quest is the funniest one. We'll do 5 minutes. It's loud again. I apologize. All right, so I got to actually go to the join link this time. My phone's at 14%, so... Apologies if you don't get in. Okay. I think I'm in. Oh, it's making me... What? I might not be able to get in now. Nah. All right, I'll let you guys play. And I'll just watch. How's that? I don't actually get to play, so... I tried to join and it wouldn't let me, even though I had the code before you guys did. Akira Kurosawa. I've never heard of Akira Kurosawa, so I couldn't tell you. I need to get to Hampton Court. I haven't been there yet. That's on my list of places to visit, though. The streams always, Dylan, they always stay up, so they can always be watched later on. Who would have made the best U.S. president out of all the runners up? Ooh. Hancock. Winfield Scott Hancock. Seven Samurai, some Yank. Okay. Favorite revolution besides American? French. Interesting anyway. It's just because of how much of an impact it had on history. Northumberland. I need to get there. Hitler didn't get elected. He was appointed chancellor. NCIS, thank you. Appreciate that. Go Bucks. Why is this backwards? I have no idea what's happening right now. I would love to go to Salt Lake City. I need to get there and do some research at the Family History Library. It's one of 2 states I haven't been to yet, Utah and Rhode Island. If I get to Leeds, I'll go to the Royal Armories. I did see that about Jonathan Majors. It's unfortunate too because he was pretty good in that Korean War movie that he was in. Robin, that's cool. I didn't know that about him. Jammy, yeah, Villa's having a decent season so far. I would love to see them make some European football. I think that would be fantastic. Haley, thank you. I appreciate that. I have seen Norseman. It's hilarious. Hitler was not elected to the Reichstag, was he? The party got elected to the Reichstag, and because of the number of votes they got, that gave him the power to be appointed chancellor. I didn't think he himself was elected to anything, though. He ran for president and lost. So we got 1 minute and 47 to go. I have no idea what's happening with this because I can't play myself. An eruption in Iceland. Red goat gives you wings? What is happening? Looks like Captain Kit Kat's going to win. Yeah, unfortunately, Kahoot, we can't do a bunch of people because I don't have a membership anymore. Well, I think if we do this one, if we do it on Classic, this one would be okay compared to Kahoot. We'll let this one finish up. Red Bulls don't like Red Bulls. Have I ever toured a museum submarine? I have. There's one at the USS Intrepid in New York City that I've toured. I think that might be the only one that I've been inside. Most impressive place I've been in Europe. Haven't been to Poland yet, so I can't compare to that. Impressive places. The War Museum in Vienna was fantastic. That was really, really cool. Tough to beat that. Westminster Abbey I love. York Minster in the UK. I've seen the USS Cod in Cleveland, but I haven't been inside. History music reactions. Dingo Ate My Baby one. That's interesting. Okay, so let's do one more Napoleonic, but let's do it differently, shall we? We'll do this one with 22 questions. I'm going to get ready to host. So I can actually get into it. Any meet and greet? Yeah, anytime I travel, I try to do meetups while I'm there. I guess this thing, does this show? Yeah, it does show the questions if we do it this way. All right. Hopefully I got in this time. I did get in. Excellent. So remember, you guys are going to be behind the stream. So you can throw the answers out in the chat if you want, because it'll be over by then. I've never been to Austin, Texas. I've been to Texas, but not Austin. I could never be on a submarine. I couldn't do it. Northfield, Twinsburg area. I have not been to the 9/11 museum. I've been to Ground Zero quite a few times, but never to the museum. I would love to visit the Borodino battlefield once things calm down over there. All right, obviously the first one's pretty easy. Napoleon was the emperor of the French. 1769 to 1821 are his birth and death years, not the years he was emperor. I have been to Houston, briefly. Oh, this is a timed thing. Okay, so I got to be faster. Sammy boy, thank you. Appreciate that. What was it like at Dachau? Sobering. I did the interview for the sub. Yes, Dylan. I was there last week, and it was fantastic. It was a great experience. They were wonderful hosts. They let me in. I actually got to go into the lab where they're doing the restoration work and film a couple of the artifacts in the lab that they're working on. It was really cool. Peter Edge, yeah, I want to get to the Black Country Living History Museum. I may go there in February when I'm there. Yeah, the Continental System. Oh, I'm in 39th place. I'm doing terrible. I need to be faster. I'm talking too much. I'm right above Mel Gibson. Oh, no, I'm in 23rd. Okay. Joe Steele. Nice. I need to start moving up a little bit. This is live. Manuel, we're live right now. I didn't see anything about the cane, but supposedly has Jack the Ripper's face on it. Peninsular War. Um, 27th overall. Not great. Not great. I've gotten all the questions right. I'm just not fast enough. Try to be a little faster that time. Glenn, that would be awesome. I don't know if it'll happen in the next year, but that would be awesome. Oh, I'm up in the top 20 now, at least. Faded Megas, I appreciate that. Thank you. Mexican-American War doesn't get talked about enough because it happened right before the Civil War, and everybody talks about that, unfortunately. Same reason World War I doesn't get talked about the way World War II does in the United States. I'll probably watch Killers of the Flower Moon at some point, yeah. Oh, I'm moving up a little bit. I'm at 224 points, so I'm still pretty far behind. I'm in 20th. The answers to these are actually pretty easy. It's just a matter of being fast. Oh, I agree. I think World War I is more interesting. I have watched some of Sharp. I need to watch more. Oh, I was a little faster on that one. Where does that move me up to? 16th. Woohoo. 277. Adam Lord, I appreciate that. Mr. Beat is playing. Oh, somebody said their name is Mr. Beat on here. It's probably not him. Ooh, I'm up to 13th. These are all pretty simple, really. First Modern Warrior, second Boer Warrior. You can make that argument, yeah. Imposter in the chat. Major Lennox answered with his life, sir. Yeah, I've seen that scene. Yeah, people keep asking about the Minnesota state flag. There is no aren't they still voting? I don't think it's been decided yet, has it? I thought they all looked terrible, though, the options I saw. HBO's Conspiracy. No. I don't even know what that's about. Interesting. I'm dropping 2. Favorite French marshal? Nay. Got executed. I did terrible on that one, too. HBO Rome was really good. I wish there had been more than 2 seasons of that. Kieran Hines as Julius Caesar. James Purefoy as Mark Antony. So good. Dylan, thank you. Appreciate that. John Adams, HBO is very, very good. I have seen Hatfields and the McCoys. My family comes from that part of Kentucky, so very, very good as well. Really good. My cousin is in that. My cousin Boyd Holbrook played John C. Hatfield in that. He was also in the new Indiana Jones movie. He played the bad guy in the new season of Justified. Yeah, Boyd Holbrook's my cousin. My great-grandma was a Holbrook. It's actually the family my African ancestry comes through. Hazard, yes. More podcasts coming soon. Favorite historical event ever to date in form of interesting and entertainment? I wouldn't call it entertaining, but I think World War I is the thing I'm most interested in right now. James, thank you. I appreciate that. Why are the answers so random? Yeah, they're pretty random. I don't even know. Oh, we have 7 more to go. When's the last time I was at any battlefields in Virginia? Hasn't been that long. A couple years. I need to get back to Virginia. Yorktown's probably the most recent one I've been to. Is fascist as an ideology good or bad? Bad. I probably wouldn't do my own Landon just because there's so many out there. It's not really something I'm interested in making my own of. Civil War battles that occurred in Ohio, the northernmost battle of the Civil War. took place in Ohio, Salineville. It's actually 15 miles from me. My church is in Salineville. It's about a mile from the battlefield. Do I only support West Brom? No. Rangers in the Scottish League. Columbus Crew in MLS. TSG Hoffenheim in the Bundesliga. And yeah, I guess that's probably it. At the Battle of Schrute Farms, yes. Favorite historical figure, probably Theodore Roosevelt, but Bismarck's an excellent one to choose. I love Ted Lasso. Ted Lasso's fantastic. Such a good show. You work with a Man United supporter? My boys are both Man United supporters, so can't help you there. Aloha, son of Hawaii. Haven't been to Hawaii in 20 years. Would love to get back someday. Oh, United is the biggest in England. Couple more questions to go. Biggest misconception about the Revolutionary War, I would say it's that George Washington was a great general. He wasn't. Michael says Bayern Munich. I'm probably not the one to answer best book about the Pacific Theater. I've heard a lot of great things about With the Old Breed by Eugene Sledge, which is one of the ones that the TV show The Pacific was based on. But I haven't read a lot of books on the Pacific Theater. Favorite Theodore Roosevelt, I think most people could probably answer this one. It's the time that somebody stole his boat and he chopped down a tree, built a boat, hunted down the people who stole his boat, stayed up for like 3 days to return them to captivity. Oh, the British are coming? Yeah, that's a good one. Nobody ever said the British are coming. Any love for West Ham? I don't have any dislike for West Ham. I think Nathaniel Greene probably was the best American general of the Revolution. I've never traveled across the U.S. on horse, so I couldn't say. I haven't read Rommel's book from World War I. That would be interesting, though. I have been to Winchester quite a few times. Man, I did terrible on this. I got every single question right, but I'm in 17th place because I'm not fast enough. Theodore Roosevelt or Ronald Reagan? Theodore Roosevelt. Yeah, Jamie, the reason I chose West Brom is because I didn't want to be one of those Americans that picked one of the Big Six teams. So I went with the team that was closest to where my family came from most recently, which would be from West Brom. Do I like rugby? I'm not really into rugby. Least favorite NFL team, it's a tie between the Ravens and the Steelers. I would love to visit Pacific World War II battlefields at some point. Am I in the Christmas spirit? Always, man. I'm excited. I'm a dad, so at this point, Christmas for me is about watching my kids love Christmas. So, all right, I'm going to wrap it up, guys. I haven't had dinner yet. It's 7 o'clock, so we're going to wrap this up. I am going to try to stream more often. Tomorrow night, I'm going to be appearing with Mr. Terry and another guest, a pretty big one, on his stream. So be watching for that. And thank you to everybody who donated, everybody who asked questions, everybody who has subscribed. I could not do this without you. Here's to 2024. Thank you, guys, and Merry Christmas if I don't have a chance.